Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the win totals bets for the 2024 season. If you aren't aware, these are futures bets. So you make these bets and then you get them, you get the winnings at the end of the regular season. So it'll be in a few months, kind of like a tax return. I understand some gamblers out there don't like futures bets. They'd rather bet every single day, and they need to put something on something every single day, and they want to see that return now. But I'm telling you that some of these bets, you can get a lot of value in them. They can go the wrong way from time to time, but you can get a lot of value in some of these bets. So let's talk about just the conference of the ACC. Now, if you watched all the individual videos on every single team, great. Please watch it. You'll learn about the teams. Just go to YouTube or Patreon, search for a team name in the search bar, and it'll come up. You can also check the Futures Bets playlist or the Win Totals playlist, and these individual videos will come up. But now that the season's about to start, I've had the entire offseason to look over these teams, and some things will change here. You see a lot of red on the chart. Red, and I'll explain the color coding system here in a second. Red means a change. A change from the original video, a change from the original odds, a change from when I made this content, and that happens throughout the offseason. You have multiple months to refine your assessment. So while some people might think, let me give you an example. Some people might think they want to know my picks for college football games on Monday or Tuesday so they can get their bets in as early as possible. A lot of people think that gives you an advantage if you get there on Sunday or something to that effect. I've learned that if you get too far ahead, sometimes injuries, weather, coaching decisions, a number of things can take place throughout the week, and you will just be on the wrong end of the bet. So I like to wait till I'm a little closer to game time. But in this particular case, as you wait till you get closer to the season starting, some things get refined. Either Vegas catches on to what we're doing, or they adjust accordingly, or, you just miss the boat on certain odds. So without further ado, I'm going to start talking about the ACC in its totality and how I see the win totals. Now, number one thing I did was I evaluated every single team in their position groups. I want to show you guys. I do have an entire chart for this, okay, of every single team in America and how I view them and how I evaluated them. And it starts on offense, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line. I gave them a score from 1 to 10. They're weighted differently, and they come out to a certain percentage over here. So there's that. The other thing is like I evaluated players in each of these groups, but I understand that coaches utilize these players differently. So a 10 at quarterback is really, really good, at certain schools, and it's advantageous to them to be good, but I understand that it's not going to win you every single game like it would at a particular program. Or a 10 at running back. We know there are teams that run the ball a lot, and we know there are teams that don't run the ball a lot. So whether you have a 10 at running back or not, they're going to underutilize their running back. It's just the reality of the situation. There'll be a super talented guy with no production, yet he'll be great in the NFL. It happens. Defensively, I evaluated every single position group the same way. So I have these teams, and it's not necessarily a top 25 or a top, whatever. It's an evaluation of talent, not a projection of win totals. It's not how I perceive these teams. Like, I don't think Georgia's going undefeated, or Ohio State, Oregon. Like, you can see Kentucky right here. Kentucky is definitely this 11th ranked best talented team. When I look at the talent of the players, that doesn't mean they're going to go and win 10 games, because unfortunately they play a lot of teams that are more talented than them. They play teams that are better than them, better coached than them. A number of things will contribute to why they won't win that many games. Same thing with Oklahoma State or Oklahoma, Virginia Tech. Like, you get it? It's just an evaluation of talent. So that being said, when I did this, it enables me to have an eye-opener, like really learn who's on these rosters and who do they have and how they measure up against their opposition. So now I go back and I look at my assessments and we adjust accordingly. So let's talk about it. Boston College. It's purple, meaning it's a value bet. Value bets are purple. By the way, green is a lock. Okay, green is a lock. Black is a lean, meaning I'm leaning one way or the other, but it's not like a definitive lock, okay? That's what black means. That's what lean means for you non-gamblers out there. And then purple is a value bet. Purple means, man, we're just getting value out of this. Just relax, chill, go for it. Typically, purples will give you more on your return. You'll see a plus number over here. So you have to bet. If you bet $100, you'll get back 146 or 124. You'll get back more than you bet on purples. So you don't need to go a ton of units on purples. You can just chill. Whereas if you do like a minus 152, you would have to bet $152 to win 100. So you might need to go a little heavier, like 3 units or something like that, just so we're aware. Okay, that being said, looking at Boston College, when I picked them earlier in the year, I said I'm on the under. It was a plus, and the numbers changed. That's why the red is there. I don't remember what the original number was, but it's probably gone down. It was probably like a plus 154, and now it's a plus 124. Or it was a 104, and it's now a plus 124. I don't know, but I'm still on the under for Boston College. I don't see them winning more than 4.5 games. I don't see them winning 5 games. I've been told they're going to win 7 games by people who have watched them at practice. I'm just telling you that when I look at their schedule, it's daunting, and I don't like Boston College to win. So I'm still on the under, and it's still a value bet. I think it's worth making. But concerns me when they tell me they're doing really well, they look great at practice. I'm still going to keep it here. You don't have to make the bet. I'm making the pick, not the bet, right? We get to Cal. Cal, I am changing to the over. I've been on the over. I believe I was on the over initially, and if I wasn't, I think that's why the red is there. I'm on the over now. And it's at plus 146. The odds have changed immensely. I'm on a 1 bet over. I had to be on the over because I didn't change this to red. This is still a value bet here. 6.5. I had to be on the over, but the odds have changed. And shout out to us. I just think that Cal's pretty decent, bro. When I went and evaluated Cal, I can tell you guys, let me show you my ACC rankings. So here's my ACC rankings of talent. And when you look at the rankings, and I'm going to talk about this on the podcast today for the ACC, when you look at, I'll zoom in so you guys can see it because I have Conference USA on the other side. You don't really care about that. But when you look at Cal, they're down here, 9th in the ACC, brand new to the ACC. I like Cal's quarterback play. It looks pretty solid, comparable to some others. Great running back. Jaden Ott is him, okay? They have a good running back room. Solid wide receivers. One of the very best tight end rooms, promise. Two good tight ends. Solid offensive line for the Power 4, but not elite, not essential. Actually, not that good if you think about it. They actually have 2 FCS All-Americans transferring in. It's a whole other story. But Cal's defense looks okay. And it looks okay in the sense that it might hold up. When I first evaluated them, I thought they were going to be a terrible defense and a great offense. Turned out to be all right, man. Linebackers and corners are holding up. Now, their star linebacker transferred, and he went to TCU, so it's unfortunate. But I'm looking at this team, and I'm going, hey, they're not bad. So they're 46th in the country. 46th in the country. That's pretty good. It's on the bottom half of the Power 5, if you will, or Power 4, because there's 60-something teams. So you want to be in the top 30, but they're not there. So I'm looking at Cal, and I'm saying I think they win 7 games. And it's a plus 146 bet. It's a bet worth making. Okay, I'm going to show you some schedules right now coming up when I think it warrants it. The next one is Duke. You see the 5.5 here. So Duke was initially 6.5 when I made the video. 6.5 wins. And I told you I'm on the under for 2 units. And it was a value bet, or it was a lock. I'm sorry, it was green. It was a lock. And it's a minus 132. I'm on the under, and it's a minus 132. For 2 units. Since I talked about that, the books have adjusted, and they have changed it to 5.5. And now, remember, I was on the under 6.5. Now they're saying, hey, it's a plus 140. They know everybody's on the under, and they made it a 172. So they switched to 172. Am I saying switch to the over? No, I'm not. I'm just letting you know the odds changed. I'm pissed about it. I'm still on the under. I'm still on the under, but it's 172 now. Sorry. I'm trying to understand what I did there. A lot going on. The point I'm trying to make is Duke's not going to be very good, and they're still not going to get to 5 wins. Here's what I'll say about this. I feel very, very confident about this bet. You see how I have a green shading behind it? I believe that's a bet you should make. That's what that green shading means. The green shading means I really like where I'm at with this. I think Duke is not going to win 6 games. I have Duke at 5 or less games. It's a minus 172, so there's not a lot of value there. You can't parlay it. These are straight across bets. So I understand if you don't want to make the bet, but it's just one of those things. They're going to be on the under. If there's no value, you don't want to make it, fine. That's why I put 2 units. I like Duke. By the way, let me go back to the orange. Clemson. Clemson. I made the video. I told you I was on the under. I later switched to the over. It was 9.5 wins. I was on the under. It's now 8.5 wins. The books adjusted. Vegas adjusted based on people's betting. It was 9.5, and everybody jumped on that shit and bet the under because it was at 140. It was at something crazy. Now, they've changed the books, and they're at over 8.5, and they're paying you nothing. I've made it orange to tell you guys don't bet on this. Like, don't bet on Clemson at all. Just leave it alone. You don't have to bet on every popular team in America. There's no money to be made here. They have adjusted the odds so that they don't lose, and it's not advantageous for us to bet on Clemson. So just leave it alone, okay? Florida State, I've switched to Florida State. After evaluating them, I think Florida State's going to hit the over. That's just a legitimate, looking at their defense again, looking at their schedule, I think they're on the over, and it's at a plus 104. Which would officially make it a value bet. Let me make sure we do that. It's a value bet, so careful. And that's important because at the end of the season, we're going to keep track of our values and our things. But I'm on the over now. I think they'll win 10 games. If I pull up their schedule, let me show you guys. Let me just show you Florida State football schedule. Obviously, I've already looked all this up for every single team in America. But when you look at their schedule, they rank higher than Georgia Tech. I understand a lot of people want to pick Georgia Tech in this game, especially to cover the spread. I will be giving no gambling advice on that game. I will be giving you a pick in the podcast later today, and my pick is going to be Florida State. I think Florida State's defense matches up extremely well with Georgia Tech. I love Georgia Tech's offense. It's exciting. I support all the players. Think very highly of Georgia Tech's offense. Unfortunately for them, the strength of their team is their offense, and the strength of Florida State is their defense. And it's going to be a daunting task to score on that defense. On the flip side, Florida State's offense doesn't move me like that. Georgia Tech's defense is worse, okay? It is bad. Georgia Tech's defense does not move me. It's so bad that when I did my ACC rankings, you'll see it here. Georgia Tech is 11th in the ACC, and I love their offense. A 74% on the offense. It's literally tied for the 3rd best offense in the ACC for me, right? I have Miami, NC State, and then Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech are the 3rd best offenses for me in the ACC. I love their offense, but that defense looks horrific. 52%, probably the worst defense it is the worst defense in the entire ACC. You're talking about a team with the worst defense in the ACC, according to me. I'm telling you, Georgia Tech's defense will be bad, and it's going to make Florida State's horrible offense actually look competent. And I think you're going to have a team in Georgia Tech who can't stop Florida State, so they're going to lose this game. Or they're going to win this game, Florida State is, okay? They're going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win. And as much as I love Memphis, it's the same thing. Your strength is your offense, your defense is porous, okay? So I think they're winning all these games. And they even match up well with SMU. They're winning that game. I have them losing to Clemson, beating Duke, losing to Miami, beating North Carolina, beating Notre Dame, beating Charleston Southern, and beating Florida. I have Florida State winning 10 games. It's what I have them doing. And it's just the reality of the situation. I understand people talk about like the talent at Notre Dame or Florida. When I assess the talent at Notre Dame or Florida in comparison to Florida State, and this is all team rankings, if you see it here, in all team rankings, I have Florida State 20th, right behind Clemson. 20th when I look at team standings and talent. That's still ahead of Notre Dame. That's still ahead of Florida, who's, I think, 33rd. So it's still better than those teams, even though those teams look talented and they probably do compare, and they're probably going to give them a good game. I think Florida State finds a way to win those games. That's what I'm assessing here. So Florida State, 10 wins. I'm on the over now, and it's a value bet at plus 104. You don't have to make the bet. It's a value bet. Value bets, you just want to get above 50% on value bets. Please understand value bets are a coin flip. You're going to get a unit back. You're going to lose a unit. If you bet a unit on each one of these, let's say you just put $10 on all these different bets. If you get above 50%, you made money on value bets because it's always a plus. You know how when they say if you go 50-50, you lose money. Yeah, you lose money on the minus 110s. You lose money when they take the juice off of it. But when you're looking at value bets, as long as you're about 45%, you're profitable. That's a true statement. That being said, I'm on Florida State to win 10 games. All right, Georgia Tech, I'm on the under. And I see, remember, it was 5.5, and I was on the under. Or I was on the over, and I flipped to the under. So let me pull up Georgia Tech here. I actually, like I just said, I think they have the worst defense in the ACC. The worst defense in the ACC, and it actually impacted the way they're ranked and the teams they play. So first and foremost, I don't think Georgia Tech wins a single game in these last 6. Georgia Tech can't beat any of these teams is how I am assessing it right now, unfortunately. And I love Georgia Tech. I'm a fan. But they're going to beat Duke. They're going to beat VMI, Georgia State. That's 3. Maybe they beat Syracuse. Maybe. So that's 4. But when I do my rankings and I do my assessment, like I said, Georgia Tech is down here. And they're up against Syracuse. Look at what I said. Maybe they beat Syracuse. Syracuse actually ranks equivalent to them with a far better defense, right? I understand that they can probably beat Syracuse. I'm with it. But thinking they're going to beat any of these other teams that are up here, they play all these teams up here. There's just no way. The gap's too huge. The gap in talent is too big for me to get there. Now, this is a futures bet. This is the preseason. They can go out there and prove me wrong all day long. Shout out to Brent Key. But for my assessment right now, making a bet, I'm on Georgia Tech. I was on the over. I'm on the under. It was 5.5. Now it's 4.5. So now it's really hard to hit the under. Really hard. But when I looked at it, you want them to get to 5 wins? Point them out. 1, 2, 3 guaranteed wins. Where's the 4th and 5th win? You're telling me Syracuse and North Carolina. Because they're not beating any of these other teams. I'll tell you that right now. They're not even close to these other teams. And if you think they're beating North Carolina, because that's how they got to get to 5 wins, they got to beat North Carolina. Once again, when I look at the rosters and I look at the talent, here's North Carolina. North Carolina, offense 67.5, defense 78%. Getting back Elijah Huzzy. Studs at the defensive end positions. They got an amazing pass rusher. One of the best in America. I've got North Carolina up here with a 73%. And you think they're going to lose to a 63%. A 10% difference, guys. I'm telling you, if that happens, then my system of analyzing talent is just severely off. And I don't think it is. I don't think it's a 10% failure rate. No way. I don't see them beating North Carolina. But they got to beat North Carolina and Syracuse. And Syracuse is right there with them in ranking. So get excited if they look good against Florida State, but by then the bet's already got to be in. I just don't see them getting through this murder's row down here. They're losing all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I got them winning 4 games. And I love what Georgia Tech's doing. And they better not fire their coach. They win 4 games. But I'm on the under. And that under will pay you plus 116. So it's now, I'm on the under, and it's plus 116. It is now a values bet. 1 unit under, and it's going to be purple. It's red, but it's a purple. You understand what I'm saying? Value bets are in positive money. So, understood. I'm on the under, Georgia Tech. Next is Louisville, 8.5. I'm not big on Louisville this year, if I'm being real with you guys. I understand. Talented team. You like them. I think there's some issues at quarterback. Tyler Shuck has to be healthy all season long. They just lost the star receiver in Colin Lacey. I'm on the under, and when I did them before, it was a lock that I was on the under, and it was a 106, 1 unit, 8.5. They've now changed the under to minus 178. So I was right. Again, if you understand how odds work, I was at 106 on the under. Minus 106 under. It's now minus 178. So for you MVPs out there who watch the videos, I hope you got your bet in. I hope you got your bet in. Don't make it now. It's minus 178. I'm leaving it there because my lock is going to be right. But it is what it is. All right. Next is Miami. What schedule? That's Louisville. Like I said, I just don't think they're going to get there. I got Louisville at 8 wins or less. They're going to win, lose. I have them losing to SMU, beating Virginia, losing to Miami, win, lose, win. Lose to Kentucky. Kentucky's really, really talented. Next, we're on Miami. Oh, I don't even have to show you Miami's schedule. I'm just telling you. Miami's winning 10 games. So I'm on Miami winning 10 games. I believe in them. The odds did not change. It's still plus 128 on the over. I think Miami's winning 10 games. Who's coming with me? And it's a 2-unit bet because I really believe in it. I should shade it green. But it's a value bet. It's the only value bet worth 2 units on the whole chart. It's just something I think you guys should make before the season starts. I really like Miami. All right, NC State. I think Vegas has NC State and North Carolina really, really wrong. Okay? NC State, for me, has the easiest schedule in the ACC. They only have 2 difficult games, Tennessee and Clemson. They face a really good NIU team that's good for the MAC, not good against NC State. Then the rest of the schedule is the bottom of the ACC all the way around, and I think they're better than Georgia Tech and North Carolina. Listen to me. NC State's winning 10 games. NC State is winning 10 games. And if they beat Tennessee, they're going to the playoffs. Look, let me try to break this down for you guys. This is fucking crazy. Rankings. NC State. Right behind Florida State in my rankings. 21st. Right ahead of Tennessee. They're tied at 75% each. I really like NC State. I'm telling you. There's just something about the way they look and their rankings. They're way up here. This ain't no borderline good team. It's a top 25 team. I got them 21st in the country in the preseason poll, and that's based upon talent alone. NC State, bro. You just gotta understand. Win, and they're ranked right next to Tennessee. I got Tennessee 22, 21. You call it what you want. Don't believe these media rankings. The media rankings are just people's fanfare. My rankings have nothing to do with fandom. They're walking through this shit. So it's a green, and I think you got to make the bet the over, and I want to say the over is a minus 134. What's the over on NC State? The over on NC State is minus 134, and I'm on NC State like you wouldn't believe, and I'm 2 units on that minus 134. That's why it's green. Kim's in Virginia right now making these bets for me. That's right. This is where the money's going. These greens, that's where the money's going. Next is North Carolina. I even put more units on North Carolina. 3 units. It's a lock. I've had it like this all summer. I had the over at minus 138. They've lowered it to minus 115 at 7.5 wins. They've given us better odds, y'all. I didn't realize that. They're giving us better odds. I know. You guys are like, what are you talking about, Rico? I'm talking about some beastly shit over here, man. They're going to get it done. North Carolina, I'm on the over. They win 8 games. Well, let's point them out. Let's point them out. They beat Minnesota. I know I told you guys, I think Minnesota's going to win this game. It's on the road. Minnesota's the favorite. After looking at it, I think it's one of the better value bets to make in week 1. But let's say they don't beat Minnesota. Let's say they don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wins without beating Minnesota. I'm telling you. 9 wins without beating Minnesota. And I think they beat Minnesota. And they might drop one somewhere else. But they match up really well. They have a really easy schedule. And I got them losing to Florida State and NC State. North Carolina's winning, bro. And North Carolina's going to be a 9-win team. You got room to spare, man. 9 wins. Possibly 10, but 9 wins at worst. and they got them at 7.5. That feels crazy to me. That's like that one's. If I can make the font bigger, I would. North Carolina 7.5. Hit the over. It's at -115. Do it for 1 unit for all I care. Do you, bro? But I'm letting you know, North Carolina is not a bad team. They're not. They have a lot of talent. And I'm just so impressed. Next is Pitt. I'm on the under. Shout out to the books. You see it's red. They changed it. When I made the video, I was on the over. They have flipped odds and did some crazy shit. It was nonsense, and now it's changed. It's now 5.5 wins. After looking at them and really assessing them and all they lost in the transfer portal, I want to believe in them, and it's not there. I have Pitt losing a ton, and I just have Pitt ranked really low. I don't see it anymore. I don't. So 1 unit. It's just a 1 unit bet. Oh, by the way, it being it's a lean. So let me just make sure it's black, just so everybody understands. It's not a lock. It's just a lean. We'll leave it alone. Not too much time on Pitt. SMU. I know. Nobody's listening to me. SMU's brand new to the ACC. You don't believe in SMU like that. Blah, 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 blah. According to my talent rankings, SMU's right here, bro. SMU's 24th in the country. SMU, they have an NFL tight end. They have they have a very competent offensive line. They have one of the best wide receiver rooms you'll ever see. And defensively, studs, man. I turn on the tape, I just see studs everywhere. SMU. Am I on the over? What do they got them at? They got them at 7.5. I'm on the over. I'm on the over. And are we getting crazy money on this over at 7.5? Is that what I'm showing you guys? What do they do? They changed it? Oh my goodness. It's 8.5 now. That's what happened. That's what happened. They changed it. You see that? I've been on the over since before the beginning of time, and they went and changed it on you guys. So hopefully MVP's jumped on this before Vegas caught on. Now, do you think they're going to win 9 games? Yeah, I do. SMU's winning 9 games. Let me pull it up. Sorry, my hands are a little frozen right now. SMU beating the hell out of Nevada. Christian, whatever. I think they're better than BYU. I think they're better than TCU. Not better than Florida State. I think they're better than Louisville. I think they're better than all these dudes, man. They're playing scrubs. I think they're better than all these guys. I know it sounds crazy. Guys are looking at it, Rico, these are ACC teams. Are they ready for the ACC? I think they'll lose to Louisville, Florida State, TCU, BYU. Like, whatever, bro. Do you. I'm going to do me. I'm on SMU on the over. I think they win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Let's just keep it conservative and go 9. I think they win 9 games, but I could see them winning 11 games. 10 games sounds right. SMU, beast. They got great talent. Stanford, I was on the under, or did I just flip? I flipped to the under. It's 3.5. I'm on the under now. It's plus 138. I'll take it. It was plus 104 for the over. That's what happened. So it was 104 for the over, and they changed the over to minus 170, which is just ridiculous. So now Stanford is out there. Stanford has a good defense, by the way. That's what I didn't realize. After watching tape, Stanford's defense is like super underrated. I'm serious. Stanford's defense is underrated, and I didn't realize it. So they got him now. It's a value bet. That's why I have it here, 1 unit, and it's an under. You don't have to make the bet. You can avoid the value bets, but I'm on Stanford on the under. Syracuse, I just switched to the over on this. It used to be the under. The odds have changed. The books have changed. They went from 6.5. Now it's 7.5, and I still think Syracuse finds a way to win 8 games. Looking at Syracuse, they actually have a pretty solid team. And I didn't want to think that initially, but I do now. So shout out to Syracuse. I'm on the 8 wins here. Ohio looks terrible. I think Syracuse can beat Georgia Tech. It's still a coin flip. They're going to beat Stanford, Holy Cross, UNLV. And I know you guys think UNLV is good. I do too. It's just I look at the talent, I assess it, and I just go, nope, not there. Not beating NC State, beating Pitt, not beating Virginia Tech, beating Boston College, beating Cal. It's a coin flip. Beating UConn, not beating Miami. So 1 loss, 2 loss, 3 loss. There's only 3 guaranteed losses on this whole schedule. There's only 3 guaranteed losses on the whole schedule. So their ceiling is 9 for Syracuse, and their over-unders at 7.5. I think they can get to 8. So I think they drop one of those games. It's going to be one of the coin flips against Cal or against Georgia Tech. They just got to go 50-50 on that, and then they're good. Syracuse not bad, bro. I'm telling you, they're not bad from what I've seen. And then we got Virginia, Virginia Tech, and Wake Forest. So Virginia, I have switched on Virginia to the over. I was on the under. I actually switched to the over now. It's still even money. Nothing's changed. I'm just on the over now. I think they win 5 games. Okay. Virginia Tech. And for Virginia, by the way, the 5 games they win, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All first 5 games of the season. Yes, I have them beating Maryland. First 5 games of the season, and then I have them losing everything else. Go figure. They could even beat Pitt and lose to Maryland, but they're gonna win all the other ones. So I just really like. I'm cool with Virginia. 5 wins. Get it done, bro. Go get the 5 wins and make me a damn, a profit. Then there's Virginia Tech, a bet you need to make. I've been on Virginia Tech all off season. I initially had them at 7.5 wins. Or the books had them at 7.5 wins, and I just started screaming like this is wrong. They don't know what they're doing, and it was a minus 144 on the over of 7.5. I was like, they're going to get 7.5 when they're going to get to 8, and now the books have moved it to 8.5. So we were definitely right. If you got on Virginia Tech early, congratulations. Now the books are at 8.5, and I still like the over, especially now that it's a value bet, and I still leave it at 2 units. I think they're going to win a substantial amount of games. I think Virginia Tech's a very good team. They're in my top 20. What are they? My 17th, 14th best team? Something like that. I really like Virginia Tech. So I'm cool with Virginia Tech right there. I still like the over. I think they get to 9 wins, and give me that at plus 124. It sounds like a great bet to make. Wake Forest. I was on the under on Wake Forest. I'm now on the over. I now think Wake Forest can win games that matter. I want to tell you why I believe this. Wake Forest has a really strong front 7 on defense. Like, really strong. Like, very, very good. Going to keep them in games. I think they're going to go out there and win 5 games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Duke's really bad. So I got 5 wins. 5 wins for Wake Forest. Great coaching staff. That's the ACC in a nutshell. I will be talking about them in detail, all these teams, on the podcast today. If you want to tune in, I'm going to break down every single conference like this before Saturday. So please get your bets in when you can. I've shaded green all the bets I'm actually making, and those are the ones I recommend you making. Do what you do, though, man. Spread it out. Please. Unit management is important. Please understand that. 1 unit should be 1% of your bankroll. So if you have $1,000 to your name, do not bet $100 a bet. It's just not the way it goes. You should be out there doing $10 bets. If you have a $10,000 bankroll, $100 bets. That's how it gets done. So anybody who's going 300, losing, and then going, I got nothing, I got to eat beans and rice for the rest of the week, you did it wrong. Unit management. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, MVPs.